Joe Straus has been that light, but everyone here in this room is a light also. And again, like I said earlier, it doesn't matter your background. Matter of fact, that's what I loved about the House of Representatives, is that we are all out there together. I could be sitting with Chris Turner, I could be sitting with anybody from anywhere. We didn't have a Republican side, we don't have a Democratic side, we're all in there together. And that way we learn about each other. We learn about each other's background. We understand why he or she is taking this position on a bill or whatever because of their background. And I hope we never change that. I hope that's always the way the House of Representatives will be, because I think that's good for Texas, and that's good for this nation if it's good for Texas. So without further ado, I want to call up my friend, our friend, the former Speaker of the House, Speaker Joe Straus III.
Thank you, Jim. Very kind. Everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jim Keffer, for that very kind introduction. Much of what we accomplished during the time that I served as Speaker of the Texas House was due to the strong leadership of Jim Keffer. And if you don't believe me, just ask him. But seriously, it's great to see that the CPPP has given Jim a platform to continue his service to the state of Texas even after leaving the legislature. And Jim and I were just talking a minute ago. For a couple of days last week, it appeared that his old House seat was going to be open again. And Jim promised me he was not getting any ideas. I also want to thank a couple of San Antonio friends and leaders who have worked hard to make today's event a success. Leticia Vandepute, Mary Alice, and Henry Cisneros, thank you very, very much. Thank you mainly for all of the good work that you've done for our community back home, for our state of Texas, and for our country. I also want to thank some people who made it possible for me to receive any recognition. And that's starting with my former colleagues in the Texas House, many of whom are here today. And it's great to see you all and to be back with you again. And after a long and productive legislative session that you had this year, I hope that you are enjoying this interim period, free of controversy and drama. I also want to thank the former members of my staff who are here. They sacrificed a lot of time with their families in order to serve the members of the Texas House and to serve the state of Texas, and they did a superb job. Most importantly, they managed to keep me out of trouble for 10 long years. You're clapping at that as if that were difficult, but of course, the one person who has been my most supportive and important partner in public service is my wife, Julie. She wanted to be here today to thank you and to see a lot of old friends, and she sends her best. But unfortunately, she sends her best from London, England today. Well, not unfortunate for her, but for us. And it just proves how far she will go to avoid having to listen to me speak. I also want to congratulate Chris Harris, who was here a moment ago. Thank you, Chris, for your commitment to making Texas a better state. And I look forward to hearing shortly from Secretary John King, Jr. in a few minutes, and we're very happy to have you in Austin today. But mostly, I want to thank the Center for Public Policy Priorities. Thank you, CPPP, for this recognition, and more importantly, thank you for your work. As much as I appreciate this award, and I do appreciate it, I also know that I did not do anything extraordinary to earn it. Leadership is actually pretty simple. It may not be common, but it is simple. Listen to facts, set the right priorities, treat others with respect, put yourself in the other guy's shoes, and do more listening than talking. None of us should be afraid to hear someone else's point of view, and nobody wins a debate by insults and talking the loudest. The great philosopher Herb Kelleher once said, "You can't really be disciplined in what you do unless you are humble and open-minded. Humility breeds open-mindedness," he said. And I know that this kind of thinking continues to guide Gary Kelly, who is here today, and it guides Gary's entire team at Southwest Airlines and many of you in the business community. Of course, Herb also said that whiskey and cigarettes are essential to human life. So maybe not all of his advice should be taken too literally, but he was right about keeping an open mind. And leaders can't be afraid to listen to difficult truths. I don't accept the notion that there are no facts anymore, that you have your reality and I have mine, and never the two shall meet. Facts are facts, and we should not need alternatives. That approach may be great if you're in the cable television business, or if you see the political process as just a fun game where there are winners and there are losers. But when we are sincere about doing what is best for this state, we should welcome credible data, even when it's data that we may not want to hear. Whether it's the fact that there is a gaping hole between the demands of our economy and the skills of our workforce. Whether it's the fact that 60% of our Texas public school students are considered economically disadvantaged, or the fact that 20% of the students in our schools are learning English, data that all have implications for our state's budget. Or the fact that our population could reach 55 million people by the year 2050, and that their quality of life will be determined by the policy decisions that are made today and in the next few years. And that's why Texas needs the Center for Public Policy Priorities. Now, it probably raises a few eyebrows that I'm receiving an award from you. After all, the center wasn't exactly supportive of some of the laws that were passed while I was the presiding officer of the Texas House. The truth is that CPPP and I probably have somewhat different views of what our tax structure should look like, or about the size and the scope of government. But many of us who have served in elected office respect this organization because it is factual, credible, professional, sincerely devoted to our fellow Texans. In other words, these are the guys that put think into think tank. And when members of either political party want reliable and well-researched information, they call Ann Beeson, they call Ann Dunkelberg, or any of the other outstanding experts on the center's team. Legislators know that this group will deal with them in good faith, and that's just as important as whether you agree on the final product. Despite whatever policy differences we may have, a lifelong Republican getting an award from a group like this should not be uncommon, shouldn't be unusual, because we both want what is best for Texas. We both realize that good ideas can come from a lot of different places. And we both know that our political process functions best when decisions are based on credible information and on reality. Now, I may not completely agree with Stephen Colbert when he once made the blanket statement that reality has a liberal bias. But as somebody who cares about Texas, I'm grateful for anyone who wants to have a constructive and an honest debate. The men and women of CPPP go to work every day because they want all children to get a great education. They want every family to have food on the table at night, and they want a more effective healthcare system. And even if we take different paths to get there, I don't know any Texan who doesn't want exactly those same things for our state. I am grateful that all of you support this organization, and I hope that you will continue to do so. I deeply appreciate this recognition, and most of all, I thank the Center for your work on behalf of our fellow Texans. Thank you very much.